All right, everybody, welcome back to Smashing Ross, versus Live here, sponsored by StarCityGames.com and Carnox Chairs. Don't forget to check out Carnox.com/SCG if you want to get 10% off these chairs. And don't forget to participate in September here if you want to get half off a Tier 1 sub and get some of these sweet emotes and no ads. Yeah. If you like the content we put out and you hate those pesky ads.
Who doesn't hate ads?
And you got $2.50. This is where you want to spend it. All right, so what are we doing for round 3 here?
Okay, we are playing Legacy in advance of Syracuse coming up this weekend. We are once again doing, fair blue deck against combo decks. So far, the combo decks have been performing quite well.
They have been, yeah.
And this one is going to be Rakdos Reanimator on Corey's side, and I'm going to be playing an Azorius Stoneblade deck. I kind of like the Stoneblade decks right now. Historically, I have not been a big fan of them because they don't have a lot of pressure, but the format has slowed down a little bit. The ability of Stoneforge Mystic to play into the late game against some of the control decks is really nice, and just Swords to Plowshares is a really well-positioned Magic card. Dealing with Merit Lage, dealing with big creatures out of the Reanimator deck. Yeah. But both very important. So just a good removal spell. There's some Hogaaks floating around that you can tag, and then it still just answers all the normal creatures that you want to answer. So I really like Swords to Plowshares as a removal spell. We've gotten some other good cards that the blue decks are using. Force of Negation works well when you have some card advantage to help with it. So I don't think it's as important to be really fast and come out swinging. So the Stoneforge Mystic, you don't get as punished for having this 2-mana threat instead of maybe some more aggressive ones.
Yep. No, and 100%, like what you were saying about Sword being like a really good card right now, if you look at the last 2 matchups that I was playing, Sword is the card that would have been devastating to both strategies, and it's going to be great against me now. These like lightning bolts and stuff like that. Obviously, these aren't the matchups where they shine. A Stoneforge Mystic on Temur Delver, Lightning Bolt is going to be like a much more relevant card. But so far to me, Sword seems like where you want to be, or I like where you're going to be at Syracuse a lot more. The Golgari Depths deck, I think, has a lot of play to it, and you can just attack your opponent from so many different angles. So I think those are the avenues I'd be going into, and I'm pretty worried about this matchup here. I think Rakdos Reanimator is kind of a, I don't know if Glass Cannon would be the right strategy name for it, but it's really just all in, and if you have a sword plus any piece of disruption, or you just top deck a sword, I'm dead,
you're definitely going to see the Rakdos deck go all in quickly. That's why Chancellor of the Annex is there, so that you can just turn 1 and have that protection, that layer. Hopefully you get the Gristlebrand, which helps you reload, but it is not a deck that is for people who are faint of heart, because you just got to lay it all on the table and hope it's good enough very frequently.
People who love craps will probably love Rakdos Reanimator.
And let me tell you, Todd Anderson has played that deck a lot.
And does he like craps?
A little bit.
All right, fair enough. All right, so you are going to be going first because I did win the last round. And, oh, God, this marbles. Better not be too comfy over there.
Hold your horses.
No, I'm going to hold my marbles, Ross.
Okay. Horses are a lot heavier.
They're already Corey's, right?
Yeah.
That is just not true. Were you just not watching Thursday's show?
Yeah. Ross always makes up a rule when he's down 2-0 that the last round is worth 10,000 points.
Yeah.
I did that exactly one time.
It's the whose line is it anyways mentality.
It thematically made sense. I'm going to be on the play.
You're going to be on the play. Good call.
See what I can do.
Woo. I'm no Rakdos Reanimator expert here, but I think there's a strong direction I should have, or a strong way I should feel about this kind of hand.
Yeah. 1 land, no counter spells. We're really relying on the Swords to Plowshares, and we don't have a white source since our land is basic island. That one's going to be...
Yeah, and I think the strong way I should feel is I should want to cry, right?
So many different black fetch lands.
Yeah.
Okay.
Variety is the spice of life,
While we're both mulliganing here, we got some questions there from chat, Rob.
Yeah, a card that was just previewed, everybody seems to be asking about.
Like just recently?
Yes, just recently.
Oh my
Charming
God.
Prince.
Okay.
1 and a white for a 2/2. It's a creature human noble. When it enters the battlefield, choose 1. Scry 2. You gain 3 life. Or exile another target creature you control. Return it to the battlefield under your control at the beginning of the next end step.
Well, the first 2 abilities seem very weak to me. And I mean, the blink ability seems like by far the strongest, but it doesn't seem great. It seems like it's going to be a great limited card if there's any type of like pacifism effects, you know, being able to blink off the aura, but I don't know. It doesn't seem that great to me. Unless I'm missing something.
It doesn't jump off the page at me, but you have to be wary with modular cards because, you know, it's too easy to fall into the trap of looking at each individual one and saying, you know, none of these are very good cards, so why am I playing this?
Yeah.
But the sum total is you're getting the best of those 3 cards at any given moment. So when you need the 2/2 that gains 3 life against an aggressive deck, it does that. When you need to get the card selection to make smooth out your draws or, you know, find something later in the game, it does that. And then that blink ability does a lot of tricky stuff. You know, you can get extra food tokens from the Gilded Goose, like you can get, you know, an extra ETB off of a ton of things. I'm sure that will exist. You know, blink your Deputy of Detention if you like tag some tokens with it on the first one.
Yeah.
And then you blink Deputy and get another reuse out of that.
Or I'm thinking, what about if we like blink Cavalier of like Thorns or something, you know?
Yeah, you can go nuts with it.
Yeah.
So
is Cavalier when it leaves play or when it dies that you get something back?
I think it's their dies.
I think they all are dies. Yeah. Okay.
So I'm a little intrigued. I'm not super high on it.
Yeah.
Because nothing's jumping off the page immediately. But that's a card that I'm going to have to sit down and think about, especially with the last ability. You got to look at what potential there is.
Yeah.
But I could see that being a good one.
Yeah. No, that's spicy.
I'm sure Dillingham will be all over that one. Blinking Thalia's lieutenants and
all that
yeah. Stuff. And then you get Vial, so you can like save your creatures from removal, like you used to do with Restoration Angel.
Still a 2-mana 2/2 bear, though. You know?
Gain 3 life against the burn deck. Burn's really popular.
That's true. Yeah. Happily optimistic, I would say.
Yeah. I would. Yeah. That's a card that I have to look at more because context matters a lot.
Yeah, and that's a card that it matters what else is in the set.
Yeah. But it's a lot of abilities, and those blink effects are usually underrated because they can do some cool stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the last relevant card that blank something. That's probably not right, huh?
That blunk?
That blunked something. Yeah. Have you heard of Felidar Guardian? That was cool.
This one's not so much a combo.
That one added, this card very smartly added at end step. It comes back. There's no shenanigans coming in there. All right, how's your hand?
Not good.
Yeah, well, I'm with you, but I am going to keep mine.
I still think it's a keep because we can put this one back and hopefully shape our hand a little bit.
All right.
Lead on island.
Okay. Ooh. I think we will lead on going to 19. I'm going to go get Badland here. I'm going to go get South Dakota. Does that mean Scrubland is North Dakota? I think so. Well, scrubs come from there, so. Then we're going to go with the Faithless Looting.
That one is going to resolve.
All right. 1, 2.
Buckle my shoe.
3, 4. All right, we're going to discard our Great Grand Gristlefather.
Okay.
Yeah. You already drew an extra card. Now you're gonna draw cards. I'm gonna have to get Ricky in here and get a judge call going. Okay.
Look at the deck list. I'm sure there's a main deck surgical extraction.
Yeah. Okay, and then
Let me get in the cardboard live real quick.
Yeah, just crudely written with crayon.
Your turn.
One surgical. Okay. So we discarded Land Gristlebrand.
Yep.
Definitely gonna draw my card here, and we will cast a Brainstorm.
All right. You've cast a lot of those today.
It's a good magic card.
Yeah. But this Brainstorm art kind of looks like right before on Arena when you're about to lose the game and your head explodes, and that's also been you a lot today. So.
Indeed. Okay, so we'll put those two back, try to disguise that one at least, and play a Flooded Strand and pass the turn.
Okay. All right. We are going to start off this fun by unmasking from your hand. Yeah, you remove it. Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to show you 2 different forces with an extra blue card in tow. So we still have a reanimation spell covered.
Okay.
We'll see which one Corey wants to take.
I am going to take... I think I have to take Narset here.
Makes sense.
Yep. And... now, what do we want to do here? Okay, so we're going to go like this.
Brings you to 18.
18. And then I'm going to animate dead Gristlebrand. How do you feel about that?
I feel pretty bad about it. We're going to go ahead and stop that one from happening.
Okay.
So I will force a negation rather than pay a life.
Might as well get it exiled. I don't know if it matters, but...
Yeah.
All right, your turn.
So I suspect there is a another reanimation spell coming.
You might be right. You might be wrong.
And so I can either draw this top card of my deck and hope I can beat, multiple Gristlebrand activations.
That is very helpful. That's very
Or
helpful.
I can draw a random card and hope it is, Spell Pierce? Or Spell Snare?
Seems like a rough position.
Yeah, I don't think I am beating, if I'd been able to just, say if Corey didn't have the Unmask and just went for Animate Dead, and I would have forced leaving myself with the Narset.
Yeah.
My hope was to be able to then land the Narset, then the Gristlebrand is awkward.
Yeah, it's bad.
And then I would have kept the top card of my deck.
Yeah, then you get to dig through time for a swords, basically.
And been in fine shape. But yeah, discard spell and 2 reanimation spells is tough.
If I have a follow-up as well.
Yeah, I think I need to hit upside, so I'm going to crack this Flooded Strand.
All right, 19 to 18?
Don't think Council's Judgment is going to get it done.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it.
So we need Spell Snare, Spell Pierce, or Cantrip into them. Or Brainstorm into Force blue card.
And we're hoping for one specific draw from our end, that's for sure. A very obvious one for anyone looking at our hand.
Is it Unmasked?
It could be.
Yeah, and that's the Council's Judgment is probably bad anyway because you're going to draw 14 cards after the Gristlebrand.
Yeah.
And then have, Unmask at the ready probably. So that's definitely not an out.
Yep, makes sense.
Only an out if I had the Narset.
Yep.
And I will draw for turn. I will play a Flooded Strand.
Okay.
And pass the turn.
Uh-oh. So we drew something to interact, that's for sure. All right, so we're going to start off on a Thoughtseize.
I will cast a Snapcaster Mage.
Okay.
I will target Brainstorm.
Okay.
And this is actually awkward because you get to take the Stoneforge.
Yep.
Yeah, there's not really much I can do.
Okay.
But the Snapcaster is better than the Stoneforge anyway, so you go to 16.
16 and then to 15.
Perfect. And left yourself with exactly 15 life.
Yep. We had what we call it all.
Are we exhuming or animate deading?
We are animate deading.
Doesn't even let me get my Stoneforge back.
Yeah.
Animate dead stays in play.
Oh, it's equipped to it?
Yeah, it gives
so
it
it's a 6/7?
Yeah, it gives it -1.
But it stays forever, right?
It doesn't equip. It's an enchant dead creature.
Oh, of course.
It's very straightforward.
I should have known this. I should have known.
One of the easiest cards in all of Magic to understand, along with Humility and Chains of Mephistopheles.
Okay.
Sylvan Library.
Well, I don't know none of that shenanigans, but we're going to draw 7.
Brings you to 8.
Yep. Oh, this is fun. All right, so now there's not too much of a point of drawing any more cards here. It's just dangerous, plain and simple. So we can play a Lotus Petal. And I have some options here, but none of which I truly cared to do anything about right now. I'm going to just make you answer this and say go.
Okay. On your end step, I'll go to, what is that, 18?
18, yep. Brainstorming.
Yep.
Okay.
Guess that's awkward. Maybe I should have cracked this fetch in response to when I was playing the Snapcaster and gotten planes, so I can draw Council's Judgment.
Or just get a Tundra, right?
There's only one Tundra.
Oh, okay. That seems silly in a blue-white deck.
These Azorius decks play back to basics and just love having basic lands. To
Makes sense.
Wasteland.
Makes sense.
And
that makes sense.
I could have gotten a planes if I had thought about it.
Yeah.
I did not. So we'll cast the Brainstorm and end step.
Okay.
And I will put these two back.
Okay.
And I will
draw a card.
Play basic planes. Play Jace the Mind Sculptor.
That's pretty good.
Bounce your Gristlebrand.
Okay.
It's an interesting one since it puts it in the hands. You'll need another Faithless Looting. I guess you have one in the yard.
Yep.
And then plenty of mana. And we'll get in for 2. Get you to 6.
That's important.
So now, if you bring back Gristlebrand, you can't immediately draw, which is great.
Yep.
So this is not the worst spot to be in. I'll pass the turn.
I'm a little afraid.
Land Jace was a good hit off that Brainstorm.
Yikes. Yikes. Let's see. 6 life. That means I can't really use Reanimate. Can't really use Reanimate here. Well, let's see what we can do by entombing.
Ugh. This is what I did not want to see.
Yeah. Why?
I think we're about to get a Grave Titan.
Well, I can't reanimate it with the card actual reanimate.
You can exhume it.
Yeah.
I'll have a Stoneforge Mystic, but I don't have, unfortunately, no black sword for me to get there.
Yep.
Which would be nice. Just Batterskull Jite.
Yeah, I think Grave Titan is the best play here. But we don't have the way to bring it back right now.
Well, I like that.
I don't.
I like that a lot.
So we're going to go like this, and we are going to...
Flashback.
Yeah, flashback loot. I definitely should have flashback looting first, though, so that was a mistake.
This is tough, leaving you down to 1 mana.
Yeah, exactly.
You need a mana, another petal or a ritual to go along with the.
That was a mistake.
Exhume or Animate Dead.
That was a mistake on my part. All right, so we're gonna discard a couple creatures, and then we can't do anything now, so we'll just pass it to you.
That is excellent.
Gross.
Am I supposed to plus this Jace on you or Brainstorm? Because clearly you need like one of your 2 mana answers, but if I can just find a Spell Slinger, I think I'll just Brainstorm.
Okay.
Force Will.
When in doubt, Brainstorm it out.
Yep. Or I can just hit bricks.
All right, we're live. Yeah, right now Gristlebrand and the returning Chancellor does not ever really seem like a great thing, but our great grand Grave Titan Father seems pretty solid.
Attack you for 2.
Okay, I will go to 4.
Play a Flooded Strand. Play a True Name Nemesis. Name you.
Okay.
You can go. Fortunately, with Corey at 4 instead of 3. Like a jerk face.
Like a jerk face.
Face full of jerk.
But, I mean, we don't have much we can do here. I mean, Grave Titan's good, but True Name Nemesis, I think, is just going to be too fast of a clock. Now, if I could attack with Gristlebrand right away, that seems better, but guess we have to start with this. We're going to start with the looting. All right. That's not excellent. With you being able to Jace bounce a Gristlebrand, this is quite the problem. Well, I can't afford to use that. And I can't afford to reanimate, so pretty easy discards. Now, I have a lot of cards I can't afford to cast here, though. I guess we just have to exhume. And you just bring back a Mystic. Yep. Okay, so we'll exhume Grave Titan. That's all I got.
I assume I want to search.
Unless you know what's on top.
That's a Narset, which is like, oh, pretty
Fine,
good. I'm not
yeah.
sure what you have to deal with this True Name.
Me neither.
Yeah.
I don't think really anything, but...
Do I want Batterskull or Jite? Probably just Batterskull.
All right. Then we'll unmask that.
Makes sense.
Then it's your go. Yeah, I think I made a huge punt. I didn't have the Exhume or anything, but if I Faithless Looting first before I go get the creature, there was a chance with how the mana worked out that I could have discarded a relevant threat and brought something back that turn. But with what ended up happening, I just had to take a turn off, and now you just can actually just kill me. But
well, I can't literally kill you this turn, right?
yeah, no, but
I'm going to bounce the Grave Titan just to maybe force you to keep recast that next turn if you even can.
Yep.
And I'm going to force a trade on one of these zombie tokens.
Yep, a block.
So that block
Take
happens.
three,
you take
down
3,
to
go to 1.
Don't think I can truly gain
And
any
I will
life or
pass the turn.
anything. Attack.
I will block.
Okay. I die. Yeah, no, that's a tough one. That was a tough one.
Casually beating a Gristlebrand activation.
Yeah.
Told you Brainstorm's a good Magic card.
Brainstorm is good. And honestly, it wouldn't have been that big of a deal if that Brainstorm was in your hand. But since it was hiding in the graveyard, that seemed like a lot bigger problem for me, you know?
And the Snapcaster got in a couple points, right?
Yeah, it did. It nickel and dimed me for at least like 4.
Yeah.
And I really just needed to connect once with Gristlebrand to kind of close the door on this, but just wasn't the case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. We are running a little low on time, so let's get to sideboarding.
Sounds perfect.
So we're going to take a short break here and finish up this last match of Azorius Stoneblade against Rakdos Reanimator. Don't go anywhere.
All right, everybody, welcome back here to Versus Live in the sideboarding here in our third and final match here. We're having a little Syracuse prep day, getting our legacy fill in for the month, week. I mean, we don't do too many legacy shows, so definitely, making all the legacy lovers out there happy because we do have Syracuse coming up, and then shortly after is GP Atlanta, which will be legacy as well, so it's a good showcase of the format.
Got some team opens coming up for the rest of the year too. A good amount of legacy in the last 3
Exactly.
months.
Yeah. So a lot of eternal formats here to be excited about. So we'll start with what I'm doing here. I did lose game 1, so I will be on the play. I'm taking out Dark Ritual just because it seems like with a deck that's interacting so much like you are that I can't really afford to just be playing another all-in card. I really kind of want to be taking it a little slower and really setting up my game and hoping to win that way. That's why we're exchanging those for Pyroblast, a way to interact with the counter spells. Now, this card isn't amazing because it doesn't deal with swords, but pushing through to just land a Gristlebrand, it may have not worked this time, but usually it is going to be good enough. You know,
oftentimes when I'm dealing with Gristlebrand, it is with swords so that you have an extra life cushion to deal with. There, I had the Jace for it, so you weren't able to get that second activation, and the 1 activation wasn't good enough. Against swords, you usually get 2.
Yep, nope, that makes total sense to me. And then we got this nice one here. This pesky little boar has a nice keyword that I'm sure your deck does not love to see, and that is hexproof. All of your creatures have hexproof, so this is going to be a really tough card for you to deal with. If I can search for that and put that into play instead of Gristlebrand, if you have a hand that's full of your white disruption like swords instead of your blue disruption, if I have seen your hand whatsoever to kind of force that through. And then I got a couple of braids just in case a blue-white deck happens to have the most pesky card here in the form of Containment Priest. And shocker, you do, you know?
You can also deal with something like Pithing Needle on Gristlebrand if that's a thing that these decks bring in. It's a nice versatile card. It answers Chalice the Void in matchups where that's relevant. Yeah, sometimes you'll tag a Batterskull with it, but if you can't deal with Containment Priest, the game is basically over.
Yep. Seems really tough. And then we've taken out Ashen Rider, which makes a lot of sense. I mean, this card seems like it's for more like ensnaring bridges or some kind of prison-style stuff that's shutting down your deck. And then the last spot I was very unsure of, maybe Chancellor is a card that I'm never supposed to touch. I don't have for sure confidence on that, but I figured going down on 1 was okay because for the same reason of not being as all in, trying to, just really focus on getting your hand, getting creatures in the graveyard and putting them into play. What do you got?
I've got a lot of good disruption here. Some counter spells, some surgical extractions, pretty obvious. We got our one containment priest, our one Vendilion click as threats that offer some form of disruption. We're going to be trimming down on things like Teferi. Not a lot of counter spells. There's some Pyroblast. That's about it.
Yeah.
It can bounce a creature, but we really want to focus on stopping the creatures from entering the battlefield.
Yeah.
We got plenty of ways to answer creatures once they enter, but things like Grave Titan, like Gristlebrand, they all leave around a bunch of stuff. Archetype of Endurance can stop those removal spells. So I'm actually trimming down on Swords to Plowshares. Normally, I would want to bring out both Council's Judgments because it's much more expensive and it's sorcery speed. So with a Gristlebrand, you can just draw a bunch of cards, find unmasks, and maybe Lotus Petal for more discard and strip the Judgment. But I want to leave in one answer to a potential Archetype of Endurance. So I'm going to leave in one Council's Judgment. Maybe that's supposed to be a Supreme Verdict because that also cleanly answers Grave Titan.
Yep.
But 3 and 4 mana makes a big difference in this matchup.
And just as a one-of, it's not that insanely relevant of how different of a card it is.
And maybe even when I'm snapcasting it, difference between 5 and 6 mana could be big as well. And then because we're bringing in 2 other threats, we're cutting 2 more. We're trimming 1 True Name, 1 Stoneforge, because I don't want this GT in my deck at all. So I don't want the full 4 Stoneforges if I only have the 1 equipment. So we got the 1 Battle Skull, 3 Stoneforges, and we're down a True Name because we got plenty of those too.
Yep. No, makes sense to me. I think this is I think the matchup game 1 is already bad, and it looks like it's getting worse. Surgical seems insane. Another free spell that I have to play around, and I can't get too aggressive when I Faithless Looting and just put them in the graveyard turn 1 or something. I'm really opening that up, so I have to try to look at your hand first. It seems like it's going to be a little scary for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta know the you got to know the cast Exhume, Eye Surgical, your 1 creature, then you let that resolve and then cast Entomb still with your Exhume on the stack. And get one of your bullets. You need some weird tricks sometimes to beat Surgical Extraction.
I agree. Well, Director Rob, you got any sweet questions while we're shuffling up?
Yeah, so this Reanimator deck used to play Tidespout Tyrant instead of Grave Titan. How do you feel those two should be evaluated as to which flex?
I don't know what card that is.
Tidespout Tyrant is a 5 blue 5/5 flyer, and whenever you cast a spell, you boomerang. Bounce a permanent.
Oh.
So, obviously, with Lotus Petals and Dark Rituals and cheap spells, unmasks, things like that, you can bounce multiple things and control the battlefield that way. But it's also neat with Animate Dead. So if your opponent has things like Swords to Plowshares and a bunch of creature removal, and they go to, or even enchant removal, and they go to kill the Animate Dead. Once you put it,
you bounce it.
You cast a spell, bounce the Animate Dead to your hand.
Yeah.
So it's sort of an unkillable creature in that way.
I like it.
I think Grave Titan serves a little bit, more of a purpose. Obviously, if you're not going to have it with Animate Dead, I think it's significantly better because you're usually pretty low on resources. You're using your discard spells to clear the way. At that point, the Tidespot Tyrant doesn't do a whole lot. It was pretty good in the old Dimir Reanimator decks because they had a bunch of cantrips too. They just changed cantrips after that, and you don't really have that luxury in this version. And Grave Titan is also just a castable card. You have Dark Ritual in your deck, it costs 6. It's not that hard to cast.
Yeah, and I like Grave Titan against the spot removal decks that can actually kill it. This one, it seems like my best option. Now, when there's one-ofs like that have these kind of silver bullet scenarios where they're good, it doesn't hurt to just play both. It hurts a little bit, of course, and you don't want to be putting too many silver bullets because then you have a play set of cards you never want to draw, then that gets bad. But maybe if you're predicting a metagame where that creature is a little better, you can take out Ashen Rider or something like that. Those kind of little shifts in a deck like this that can tutor up cards to put them into the graveyard really is all about metagaming. If you think the metagame is going to call for it, great, put them in,
Yeah.
But no, I think that's a great card, and it seems like it makes sense to me.
Yeah, it's definitely a card that you always consider.
Yeah.
But it just depends on how the metagame is shaping out.
Yeah.
If there's a lot more Swords to Plowshares, then I think it makes sense.
Yeah, or a great sideboard card as well.
Yeah.
Seems reasonable to me. Okay. Well, if we look at my hand here, it's missing one very clear thing here. I don't think you can keep a card that can't actually put a creature into the graveyard. So we're going to mulligan this. We can aggressively mulligan with this hand as well, or with this deck as well.
I will keep mine, seeing as I have a good amount of disruption, and I just need to hit some lands, and I've got a cantrip to help me do that. So
seems great.
Definitely a keeper. We got another question while Corey's shuffling.
So with Stoneforge recently being unbanned in Modern, we had a new equipment that came out, Ember Cleave. Do you feel like that could be played in Jeskai deck with Stoneforge Mystic?
This is in Modern?
Yes.
Yeah, the thing with Stoneforge is that you really want to get equipment that go well on the Stoneforge itself so that it can be a self-contained threat. Ember Cleave is the kind of card that, if you're tutoring it for it in that spot, you're probably not flooding the battlefield with that many creatures, which means you're going to have to put it into play with the Stoneforge, so you need another creature to equip it to, and preferably a pretty big creature. I don't see a deck filling all those boxes.
Yeah.
I do think Embercleave is a powerful card, though.
Yeah, I'll echo that. I mean, yeah, I think you nailed it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think Embercleave is the kind of card that you're casting. You're playing 2-drop, 3-drop, Embercleaving them on 4, hopefully with a big creature, with the Beauty and the Beast. I can't remember the name of it, but you make your 1/1. Even if you skip 2, maybe you play a removal spell. Play your 5/5 on 3. Next turn you Embercleave because you got 2 creatures attacking, cost 4 mana. Equip it to the 5/5. And attack for 13.
Makes sense
that's
to
the
me.
Kind of thing you want to be doing with Embercleave. And
Well,
if you want to know more about Embercleave, that's what I wrote my article about today on StarCityGames.com. It's live right now. You can check it out right when we're done.
Might as well get your shilling in. I like it. All right, so we are down to 5 here because our last hand had no lands. And we got to keep this. This is quite bad, though. It is absolutely quite bad. So I think we'll put this on the bottom. And I think we just have to put this on the bottom as well and hope that that card doesn't show up. This is not looking good, though. All right, so I will crack this.
You're 19.
Oh, to be fair, you've gotten pretty lucky today, so.
I have gotten pretty lucky. Absolutely.
Wheels come off right at the end.
Yeah. I'll take it. Once the victory is already done for the day, I mean, this is when the bad luck can occur. All right, we'll try to Thoughtseize you.
So I have what I don't want to. I was thinking what I wanted to avoid was the same thing as last game where Corey gets to take my Narset. But if he does that, then he still leaves me with 2 counter spells. So I don't think he's ever getting a creature onto the battlefield. So I'm just gonna let this one resolve.
All right.
Maybe you just take my Ponder and hope I get mana screwed. But I think I'm gonna have some time.
I think you are gonna have time. God, I don't see a world where I win if I don't take your Ponder and you don't get horrifically unlucky. So we came here to get lucky. Let's do it. I'll go to 17.
Okay.
All right, your turn.
I'll play a Flooded Strand and pass the turn.
Okay. All right. I'll play this and send it to you.
Island go.
What'd you draw for the turn? Your turn.
Do I just run out this Snapcaster Mage and start applying some beatdowns?
The good old beats?
You're at 17. You got to fetch. It's a clock. Yeah, I'm in. Fetch for a Tundra. Play Snapcaster and end step. The old Ambush Viper.
All right.
I'm at 19. Love me some Ambush Viper. This was my favorite play to do in Standard back in the Azorius Delver days.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, I wonder why you didn't win much. No, I'm just kidding.
It was my second favorite play.
Yeah, I think your first favorite play was flipping Delver naturally on turn 2, right?
No, that was just the best play.
Oh,
My second favorite play was Ambush Viper Snapcaster Mage when it was absolutely right. Everybody would look at you but you're not going to get a spell. I'm like, yeah, but you're going to die. My favorite play was just building my own Silver Galadapt with the Cataxin Probe.
Oh, yeah. I like that.
Let's go to 16.
I love that, yeah. Probe you. I already know your hand. Doesn't matter. Free card.
Attack you for 2.
I'll take it.
Brings you to 15. And you have 3 cards in hand.
3 cards.
So if you have Entomb,
I don't.
Reanimate, discard spell. I'll play a Stoneforge.
That was also 4 cards you just named. So.
Yeah, you get a draw step.
That's true. Okay.
You're up.
Seems fine. This is all fine.
Yeah, if Corey were to go for that Entomb, I would have just countered that to make sure that he can't draw the discard spell.
All right. We got a good play coming.
You're at 14 now?
Yep. Ooh! 14 and I'm throwing cards.
Your play is drop your cards on the table and hope that creates a draw somehow.
Yeah. Sorry, we have to start over. I don't know what was in my hand. I'm going to unmask you.
Oh, man, I really wish I had held up so I could spell Pierce that.
Oh, my God. Add insult to injury.
But yeah, I assume you're taking one of the forces.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Can I possibly even beat a Batter Skull? Like...
I don't know. I assume you actually, maybe you take Force of Will, so maybe you can hardcast the Grave Titan, but that's only in 2 turns.
Yeah, I'll take Force of Will. Why not?
Okay.
Your turn. I am so dead regardless. I don't know why people play this deck. It's so miserable when you're not doing your thing.
Check for 2, 12.
Yep.
I'm just going to put the Batter Skull into play and increase my clock, hold the Narset for next turn.
Makes sense. I can't possibly win.
Put this Batter Skull.
Yeah.
Spell Pierce, you're nothing.
Yeah. You just put a Narset in play. I don't even know how I beat that, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe if I can sneak in a Grave Titan, but yeah, it doesn't seem likely.
Yeah. You were supposed to, maybe if your Thoughtseize had hit my Snapcaster Mage, and then you could reanimate my Snapcaster Mage.
That's true.
And flash back your Thoughtseize.
Ooh, yeah. I still just had to find a threat, you know? Like, I had to find a threat to get in my graveyard. This deck reminds me a lot, insanely powerful. It kind of reminds me of, like, Grixis Death Shadow in Modern. Not because of, like, how the decks actually play out, but it's because of what problems Grixis Death Shadow has as well as this. Like, you may have a hand you gotta keep with a bunch of hand disruption, and granted I was on the mold to 5, so my hand selection was gonna be a lot worse, but there's just those times when you just don't draw a threat, you know, you don't draw a creature to throw into your graveyard, and it just becomes like a flawed strategy, you know?
Yeah. No, it's not a deck with a ton of card selection. Right?
Yeah.
It's just Faithless Looting.
Yeah.
So you really do need to have it all wrapped up in your opening hand, or with a couple more draws on top of that.
Yeah.
So that is definitely tough. There's a reason why the original Reanimator decks were Dimir.
Yeah, that makes sense to actually have some cards to be able to manipulate and
Brainstorm, ponder, careful study.
Yep. Well, it looks like we'll have time for one more game, but we can also do a question or two here while we're shuffling up.
Yeah, we had a new preview that people are asking about.
Oh.
It is an enchantment called Outlaw's Merriment. It's a mythic. 1 colorless, a red and white.
Jesus.
At the beginning of your upkeep, choose 1 at random. Create a red and white creature token with these characteristics. A 3/1 human warrior with trample and haste, a 2/1 human cleric with lifelink and haste, or a 1/2 human rogue with haste, and when this creature enters the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to any target.
So you get
so
one
it's 4
of those.
mana or 5 mana?
4 mana.
4 mana.
And
Okay.
when does it trigger? It's upkeep?
At the beginning of your upkeep.
I mean, I could see a world where, like, you have maybe a more control deck and have that as a win condition. I don't know. It seems like all 3 of them are just so kind of weak.
Yeah, it's about the value over time.
Yeah.
But the lack of immediate impact. When every token had haste, I thought maybe it triggers at your combat. So you get 1 immediately if you play it first main.
Yeah. That would be better. But honestly, think about that against, like, control. Think about that. If you stick that against, like, a blue-black control deck, how the hell are they going to beat that? Excuse my language, but...
Yeah, I do think that... I do think it's a sideboard option for matchups like that, but I don't think you can afford to main deck that card, even in a control deck as a win condition, because it's such a poor win condition against aggressive decks with no immediate impact. Yeah,
seems like a good white-red aggressive sideboard strategy to kind of go bigger against a control deck that may have, like, a bunch of, cry... ritual type stuff. I know these cards are rotating, but a bunch of Wrath of Gods and just 1-for-1 removal and stuff like that. It seems like a good option to combat those. But it's nothing you could have in the main, because think about that card against, like, a green big creature deck. Like, it's going to be laughably bad,
But then you run into the problem of, is this card better than Experimental Frenzy? And, like, maybe if you're more of, like, the mid-range aggressive deck and your curve's a little higher.
Yeah. If you're more of a white base aggressive deck, then I bet that card's better.
White.
But if you are red base with, like, the new Robber card and, like, burn spells, then Frenzy's just, of course, going to be better.
You also have Chandra Fire Artisan competing for a spot there, so it's got to compete with those as far as even to make it into sideboards. Not sure if it's going to be strong enough to do that. I think the presence of Experimental Frenzy brings enchantment removal to the format and makes that, a weaker play by hitting splash damage.
Yeah.
So this to me feels like a card that is not going to see any play for the next year, and then might fill that sideboard role once Experimental Frenzy rotates.
Yep.
But you're right. Like in more of a mid-range deck where the curve's higher and Frenzy is not as reliable, then I could see it.
But let's talk about limited.
Do you
That
feel
card's
there
going to be
will
a bomb.
frenzy deck?
I mean, I have to. The card is really powerful right now. Red is, as we said earlier in the show, is missing 1-drops.
Yeah.
But the rest of the deck, I think, is powerful enough that even with mediocre 1-drops, it could be okay. Especially if the mana is really bad, so that you just get such an advantage by being a monocolor deck.
Yeah. It's hard to see Frenzy not making an appearance, at least for a little bit. Like week 1 standard, everything usually revolves around red. Like look at the last SCGs. Every week 1 has been won by a mono red deck. It's kind of crazy, And I think that's going to be the case. But that red-white enchantment, think about that in limited. That's going to be a bomb. That'll be a bomb in limited.
It's like keep making things every turn.
Yeah.
And like,
They're
like okay creatures. It will be good. Like you just pair it with removal spells and it's good. But
pair it with a ham sandwich and I think it'll be playable.
I always want my bombs to be cards that can win me games from behind, and that card doesn't do that.
Yep.
So I'd be worried about that
It's a
kind of thing.
Sweet card though.
But it is definitely a card that can dominate games.
Okay. Well, if we look at our hand again here, it's once again unplayably bad.
I'm getting the impression that you're not a fan of this deck.
I am not a fan of this deck, no.
The Sneak and Show deck has card selection.
Yes, you get to draw cards,
and the Depths deck has, just like another angle of attack in these like aggressive elements, and has a lot more redundancy in its tutor effects because of Reclaimer. This deck, trades those in. It's faster. So you get to, turn 1 your thing. Whereas those decks don't really do that. Turn 1, turn 2.
Yeah.
But we saw you have it. Well, it was turn 2, right? But you were on the draw.
Yeah.
No, it was turn 3 because I had the snap brainstorm that turn. But it was turn 3 on the draw, and that was not good enough. But we have yet to see you, have a hand.
What do you do with these things?
That is not a keeper.
Yeah, I love this deck. We got any more questions while I'm mulling into Oblivion and having existential crisis?
What do you think about a slower blue-white build, a more traditional kind of Miracles-esque build right now? Or do you feel like Stoneblade is where you want to be if you're blue-white?
I generally, just my play style is I want to have some threats. I want to be able to apply some pressure. So in basically any metagame, I'm going to favor that. So you have to show me a metagame where Terminus is particularly important to want to build my deck in that Miracle style. And this just doesn't seem like one, right? Brandon 6 and Plague Engineer are really good against, aggressive decks, especially things like Elves. So I'm not seeing a lot of that. And there's some artifact removal or whatever around, but I prefer being able to have that angle. I don't like how the Miracles decks just sort of sit there. I don't really do anything for 7 turns, and sometimes you can just draw out of it.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, I'm going to keep this. I don't know what else you can do. This seems unplayably bad, and I have a strategy, but it is not good. Okay, so we'll start with this. I'll start with Thought Seizing myself. Go.
So you're at 18.
Yep.
Thoughtseize reveal the hand.
Oh, probably, huh? Target player reveals his hand.
Yep.
Okay. We have a plan. Can you beat a 5/6? Probably. All right. We'll bring this back. Or we'll attempt to. You can still counter it, I suppose. If you even care.
Why do I have a blue Elemental Blast and not a Hydroblast? So I just think about which card I want to throw. Ooh, actually. Oh, this is really awkward because it's Prismatic Vista and I can't get the Tundra. Oh. Okay, what do I have to do against this?
I mean, it is smaller, too. It's only a 4/6. So you have 5 turns to figure it out.
I guess, am I supposed to just let this happen and wait?
Seems like it. It doesn't seem very threatening.
Well, the issue is I only have the 1 land. and I was hoping to just brainstorm out of it, but then you've chancered me, so I can't cast the brainstorm. It's going to die.
All right.
If I cast it now, then I'm just waiting to draw a white source on swords. If I just wait, then I'll just draw a second land and just swords this immediately and pay the 1. And I've got time, so I think I just let this happen.
Yeah, makes sense.
Or, actually, I guess the other option is to just force it and pay the 1.
And then get white, and then how could you ever lose?
Well, I would get blue so I can just brainstorm.
Sure. Force seems great.
Yeah, I guess we'll force the animate dead and pay the 1. So I'm at 18.
Yeah, it's just countered now, right?
Yeah, I counter the animate deads.
Yeah. Oh, well,
And the Chancellor's still in the graveyard, and
I can't possibly win now. That, of course, seems like the better play.
Yeah. I forgot about my ability to pay for 1 off the force roll. So 18 all.
All right. Your turn.
I guess did you fetch with that Baltimore?
Yep.
So you're at 17, I'm at 18?
Yep.
I mean, I could just brick on lands, too, which I just did. Brainstorm.
Okay. Can I just buy this copy off SCG after this? I love it. I love this deck.
Actually, let's play an island after putting what other card do I want to put back?
This is from one of your Lotus Box teammates.
Yeah.
This is Colin's deck. So.
Oh, is it? Okay. Well, he's a
Ponder.
much luckier man than I guess.
No lands in that one, so see if we can hit a land.
And it was a team event, right?
I believe it was from a team.
Yeah, okay. So he didn't win a match. His teammates won every single other one. My teammate played this as well, though. So.
And pass the turn.
All right. All right. Reanimate.
Yep. You go to 10.
Your turn. This should work.
Brainstorm, pay the 1.
Okay.
And play a Tarn, and actually this is awkward that I'm going to have to keep a card I don't want, but I really want to hide this from a discard spell, so we're going to hide this on top and pass.
Okay. I'll attack for 5.
I'm at 13.
All right. I'll thought seize you. Yeah, guess I got to take J's.
You're at 8.
Your turn. I'm going to guess this is a swords that you were talking about earlier.
Yeah, so we're going to crack these for... Oh, no, I can't even get 2 white sources. So I can't Stone Forge, but let's just swords for now.
Seems fine.
So I'm going to go to 12 and you'll go to 13.
Yep.
And I'm getting the Tundra. You can go. There should probably just be a second Tundra.
Probably should
oftentimes
be a
you'll
second
see 2, but sometimes you'll see 1.
2 makes sense to me. All right, your turn.
So I'm at 12, you're at 13.
Yep.
And
I'll give it to you here. I'll let you have this one. I'll let you have this one, my friend. But there's still something that you have to give me before we get to the end of this. And oh yeah, we got time. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, they're back where they belong. And honestly, so I will say I had some horrendous draws. I'm probably putting this deck down a lot more than I should because I had some bad draws. This thing does do powerful things. Me personally, I want to be able to interact with you if I'm going to be doing these all-in combo things, or I want to be have a game plan that does something other than just disrupting hands. So that's why I like the second deck I played, Golgari Depths, is what I would totally try to play at Syracuse, and why I even like Sneak Attack more than this. So yeah.
You had the turn 2 Merit Lage with a discard spell out of the Depths deck. You had the turn 1 Show and Tell Gristlebrand with a Force of Will.
Top deck the Emrakul for the Show and Tell at one point.
So you stacked your good draws early on. The Reanimator deck
when they mattered.
We ended up making it close, so we played 9 games, you won 5 of them. So it was a close game overall. You 3-ed the first, I 3-ed the last, and you 2 on the middle one.
Yeah, yep.
So some close games there, and it shows you, sometimes, every deck in Legacy, especially the combo decks, have really powerful draws. And that's one of the incentives to play them. Sometimes you just kill your opponent on the first 2 turns of the game with a piece of disruption, a force will back, and there's nothing much they can do. But as the games go along, if things don't come together like they did in the Rakdos deck, then your deck just does nothing and it looks pretty bad. Of the 3, the Depths deck is the one that is most able to both, withstand early disruption and still recoup and find its pieces again, but also able to, sometimes win some games with just Elvish Reclaimer, Dark Confidant beatdowns, and drawing some extra cards with Dark Confidant.
And the thing I love the most is it's the hardest to sideboard against because, there's certain cards you want when they're trying to play their fair game. There's certain cards you want to stop to just deal with the combo, but it's hard to find a perfect mix. So you leave your opponents open to make more mistakes against you, which is the general strategy that I like. That's why I like playing Wurza. It's a hard deck to play against. There's so many avenues that you have to sideboard against, and it's plain and simple. It's just hard, But after playing these, I really want to play some Legacy. I'm tempted to go to Syracuse as well, and you should be too. Make it out to Syracuse this weekend if you want to play some Legacy, as well as there's GP Atlanta as well for some more Legacy action. So there's a team event in Philadelphia here at the beginning of October. So this is a good time to get into Legacy. This next month is going to be a lot of time to play the Eternal format.
Yeah, if you can make it out to Syracuse, I'll be there. And don't be afraid to come up and say hi. If you're just watching from home, make sure you catch the coverage right here, twitch.tv/SCG Tour. That'll start at 10 o'clock local time. We got 10:30?
10:30 on Saturday. Yep.
We got Cedric, we got Patrick in the
dream team.
And then we got Brian and Craig.
Also dreamy.
Yeah, Brian Gottlieb, Craig Krempel. So 2 good teams there. Should be some great coverage with Legacy. I know Brian Gottlieb, very experienced Legacy player, has played the format for a long time. Spent a lot of time in that region, upstate New York, where Legacy is very popular. So certainly will be a very knowledgeable, purveyor of information about the format.
It makes sense where Magic is born. Around New York at higher games and stuff. That's where Legacy should be at its core, right?
Yeah, Northeast, New York and New England and Massachusetts, definitely where a lot of Legacy goes down. So should be a great tournament. Hopefully I do well. Hopefully I redeem myself from losing today.
I hope the best for you.
Yes,
I hope that you won't have me to beat you up in Legacy, which I'm not going to lie, I did not expect to get the marbles back from you on a Legacy day. And to give everybody a little inside info, when we were playing some practice game before it, I just got farmed over and over. I didn't win a single game. I'm like, this should go well.
Yeah. So, and then I just lost 5 straight games to start the show. I'm like, yeah, this sounds all right.
I was hustling them. It's what I do here. But can we tell them? Can we tell them what we're going to do Thursday?
Let's hold off on that one. Okay, let's do some subs.
We got a few today. Teddy Bag of Donuts for 2 months.
Nice.
D Allen 2772 subscribed. Bakers 72 for 2 months. Frozine for 12 months. And I'm Not Russell subscribed. So thank you to all
awesome.
of
Smart people, half off. This is the time to be doing it.
Oh, we just got one more.
Oh, yeah.
Anchor has also just subscribed.
All right.
In there.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks so much for the subs. We appreciate it. And we will see you this coming up Thursday to see if you can take these back. And we got a fun one planned for you, but we won't spoil it yet. We'll see you next week. Or we'll see you later on.
Later this week.
Nailed it.